So, hey there, hey friends, Ken here, your Thrifty Apprentice, and welcome back to another Thrifty Review. Today, we're going to do things a little different as we take a look at the SoHo Urban Artist stretched watercolor paper from Jerry's Autorama. Now, this is a 140-pound hot press paper that is stretched across a wooden frame and secured in the back to give you a canvas feel. This one is 8 by 10 and we have tapped with one of these on the channel before. Today we're heading in with a Christmas theme, so let's go on to the creation table and get started. Here we have the SoHo Urban Artist Select Stretched Watercolor Paper. It is 8 by 10, 5/8 of an inch deep on hot press paper, 140 pound, acid free, and it is sized both internally and externally, 100% cotton. As you can see, it is stretched across an 8 by 10 wooden frame and then secured down in the back with staples, just like a canvas. On the inside, there are extra wooden modules for you to add to in order to prop it up or sit it up the way that you want to. Or like any other regular canvas, you can actually hang it on the wall. The great thing about a product like this is that you do not have to worry about framing your artwork, and it is basically ready to go when you finish it. More so amazed and intrigued at the fact that it is actually a stretched hot press paper versus a canvas, meaning that you do not have to use gesso, you do not have to use watercolor ground. Before I could actually truly give you my final opinion, let's jump into painting one last demo so that you can see the actual canvas in use, and then I will follow that up with my thoughts on the product. Kicking this demo off, my friends, in combination with the stretched hot press paper, I am using Whale Gouache. This is their artist gouache, and this is the new set of 42 that I've been testing. Now, I am getting around to that review really soon, so I did want to get in another painting with this particular set before I decided to offer my opinion, but that's another video for another day. I went in to paint the gnome that I chose for today. I'm still sticking to my Christmas season, holiday season themes as I paint throughout December. I have really been enjoying them. They have really been putting me in the holiday spirit, and I hope that everyone else is getting into the season. It is such a wonderful season, time of just sharing and caring, the same things we try to promote throughout the entire year in the art community, but maybe even more so around this time if you're into the season. So I started off painting the top part right above the brim of his little cute cap with a really saturated mass tone red wash, covered it twice. This is gouache, so it is opaque, and of course the more you the more you layer, the more coverage and more saturation builds. Now, for everything below his nose, and of course his cute little face is covered up by the top part of the hat, it's really gonna be a value painting. I'm going to be using a gray tone. I'm more so towards the towards the warmer gray, which was made with an ultramarine blue and a burnt sienna. It's called red, light red if I'm not mistaken, from the Art Well set. And I just mixed back and forth between those two colors, mainly with the blue until I got a really saturated, like almost Payne's gray. And I'm using different variations of that color with different levels of water in order to paint all of the mustache area. First starting with the shadow under his nose, then pretty much going around covering everything else. And you will see me put down color, wash my brush off, go back in and blend. And I'm gonna constantly do this and constantly build layers until I separate the top mustache part or from the bottom beard part. I did put some linear lines in the area in order to show you the different separations or wrinkles, if you will, that would be in the beard area for the gnome. Now, for the cap going up, red and green, of course, being my colors of choice because of the season, I did put down stripes of green, an additional stripe of red, and then of course I put on a second layer for each of those just to make sure that that area was really covered and opaque. Thought to myself, too much white. I want to try to eliminate some more of the white in the cap. So I decided to mix an even darker green, more on the cooler side, excuse me, because I was darkening the original sap green up with an ultramarine blue. And then I threw in a little bit of the burnt sienna color just to get it a little darker, and that's what I'm going to use to paint in the third color on the cap. So it'll be two different shades of green and a red, but they're going to play off of each other really well. And once it was all said and done, I do think that it turned out pretty cute. This entire gnome thing was just pretty cute to me. I've never painted a gnome before, guys. This is my very first one, so it was really exciting. Just an overall exciting project. Before I even get to the review part, I'm telling you, you guys probably have figured out by now that I really do like this stretched hot press paper. And I have not been the hugest hot press paper fan in the past. But this and another sketchbook that I want to show you a little later on in the video have really been changing my mind about that. I painted his nose with the same red that I used in the cap just to keep color harmony. And then, of course, I went into, and in the nose, make sure you leave a highlight if you decide to do this. I decided to use the white of the paper for most of my highlights, so I would not have to go in with a white gouache or with like bleed proof or a white gel pen. And I think it worked out pretty well. I'm using the same color of gray in different watery consistencies in order to paint in the cap area, being sure to put a little bit more shadow around the ends just to make sure that it gave it some roundness. And then, like I did the two previous colors, I jumped back into the third color that I added into the cap and added a second layer so that we would have more saturation and more brightness of color. I really like these gouache. You guys have been hearing me say this for a year and a half. I love their first release. I love their second release. I really love the metallics that are in the second release. And before we get, it's going to be a pretty decent review on those. So here, friends, are the two completed canvases that I have done testing this product out. Now, I did pick this up from my local Jerry's Autorama. They are by SoHo, as I mentioned earlier in the video. SoHo happens to be one of the many house brands of Jerry's. And if you don't know what a house brand is, it is a brand that you can typically only buy at one company. So SoHo produces many products from Jerry's that I've tried and I have liked. When I ran across these in the store, I figured I would give them a try because they were very economical. If I'm not mistaken, I paid somewhere around maybe $2.50, maybe $3 a panel, 8x10. And of course, I love the fact that it is a very sturdy wooden frame. The watercolor paper is, I want to say is glued and stapled, but it is very secure on the frame. I didn't have any buckling or any moving. Now, when I initially tested, because I started out with 3, I did use what I feel is too much water, and I will show you guys this one. I haven't finished this one. I was saying I was going to go back. Now, I was actually somewhat following a tutorial because I do a lot of different things in order to try to keep myself up and growing and learning new techniques. And I was following a tutorial doing this, but it calls for me to use quite a bit of water in the background. And we know that hot press paper does not necessarily like to take super wet washes. And I was pushing the boundaries here. So I did get a little bit of sort of staining on the side and the top that I wasn't really crazy about. Initially, I thought it was a sizing issue with the paper, but there is no sizing issue with the paper. That was definitely user error. So I kind of pulled back, reassessed, rethought things, and tackled this painting. I can't remember the watercolors that I used here, but I do believe these were watercolors. They may have been the Paul Rubens 5th edition that you land set, along with some, what looks to be maybe some gouache inside there in order to make the glass shine and to give the middle of the flower and the petals a few highlights. I really enjoyed doing this one. This is when I really got the feel for the water to paint ratio on this particular type paper. This one that we did today in the video, I really like the way this came out. This is actually the first gnome I've ever painted. And I just thought it would be a really cute idea around this season of the year to paint this with you guys. Now, at the end of the day, I have tried a few different hot press papers over the time that I've been on my creative journey. Not nearly as many hot press as cold press, but I have tried a few. And as I was testing these out and keeping in mind that they are sold under the SoHo brand, which of course is going to be a white labeled product, I was trying to see if maybe the paper felt similar to something that I've already tried. And the only thing I could come up with, or what I feel that the paper is the closest to, is the Potentate 100% cotton hot press watercolor paper. Now, I ordered this paper through Lightwish. So it's distributed in the United States by them, well, really by many companies, because there's many companies where you can order this particular brand from, which is a Chinese-based company. You can even order them on AliExpress as well as Temu. So it's not just exclusive to the Lightwish website or Lightwish storefront on Amazon. But this is the paper that I feel these canvases, or should I say these stretch watercolor canvases, remind me the most of. And I really did enjoy this paper. I was really surprised because I've tried cold press paper by this company and it's fairly okay, but I wasn't really impressed. But I have to say that I think that this is a really nice paper. It holds color really well. There's not a huge shift from wet to dry with your paints. This one I used watercolors. This we did today with gouache. So both mediums held up really well on it. There is no buckling or no give to the stretch in the paper. Now you are going to have just a little as you're wetting the paper, and of course the wetter it gets, the more give it'll have. But as it dries, you can see it dries back to a drum. You can hear the drum sound there. So I'm really impressed, and these are super affordable. Now they are higher on Amazon than they are in Jerry's. So if you were going to order them, I would probably suggest maybe giving it a try by throwing it into the cart to get to the free shipping if you're ordering from jerry'sautorama.com, or if you have a local Jerry's that you can walk into, it may be more beneficial financially to just walk into the store to purchase them. If you're going to pay for them on Amazon, I do think that they are priced a little bit high, but they sell them in 2-3 packs, and when you break the price down the way they're selling them, they're decently affordable for what you can do with them. Ultimately, the fact that I can hang it directly on the wall, I can spray it with a protective sealant, a protective varnish, and then hang it directly on the wall is what is most appealing about it to me, on top of it being a product that I feel performs really well. So I am, I'll be honest, I'm thoroughly impressed, especially for the price. And I do believe that this is the paper it is the close to. So if you've ever tried the Potentate 100% cotton watercolor hot press paper, then and you like it, then I believe you will like this paper. Now, I could be wrong about it being manufactured by the same company, but if it's not, then it is extremely close, and I think they perform extremely similar. I definitely recommend them. I don't think that they're expensive at all. I think they will be a fun project for anybody, regardless of your background, to give a try. They will work with any water soluble medium, just keeping in mind how far you can push a hot press paper. So there you have it, guys. Really quick review. Just wanted to give you my overall opinion on this particular product. I do not think it's something that you would be wasting your money on. I think it's fun. If you feel like it's something that you're interested in, I say give it a try. And if not, then, you know, maybe it's a gift you can grab for somebody else, or you just wait till the next time around for something to come along that's more appealing to you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give the video a little love. Hit that thumbs up button. Help out that algorithm. Help get it in front of other viewers like yourself. Sharing is caring, and I would more than be appreciative if you chose to share the video. Please jump in the comments section. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the flower? What do you think of the gnome? You can go back on the channel and check the flower out, because it is a video on the channel under the video playlist. Let me know, have you tried this particular product or something similar? And just keep in mind that this is a stretched hot press watercolor paper. It is not canvas. So I think it's something that you may want to give a try if you're really into water soluble products. You can check the video description for all of the relevant links, the Patreon, the Defyantarts website, which I always encourage you to visit, the most recommended product list, as well as the artist wish list. And last but not least, if you're new or returning and you haven't, do subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live and when we upload. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends. Go out there, have yourself a wonderful day. And remember, as I always tell you, just keep creating.